NURFM News for our sponsor, Cartier Jewellery. Always unique, always quality. Toronto Town Square.
It's 2 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Belinda De Lasheras with 2NURFM Hunter News. The hunt is on for a man believed to be behind the indecent assault of a teenager near Newcastle train station last night. It's understood the 16-year-old girl had been waiting for a bus on Scott Street sometime between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. when she was approached by a man. Police allege the male then sat down beside her, proceeding to rub his hands over her thighs, stomach and breasts above her clothes. The girl later caught the bus home before alerting authorities. However, police continue to urge anyone with further information to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Newcastle residents will be again making their voices heard, rallying against the closure of the city's heavy rail line on Sunday with a march through the CBD. A number of anti-light rail groups will be attending the event, including Save Our Rail, Newcastle Trades Hall Council, the Hunter Environment Lobby Maitland branch, as well as the Newcastle Inner City Residents Alliance. Member of the Hunter Concerned Citizens Group and rally organiser David Blythe says people want heavy rail to remain.
We know from the leafleting we've done and the responses that the people who have put out the flyers have had that the ratio of people for retention of the rail is about 5 or maybe 6 to 1 against. People want the rail to stay, but they feel like they're up against a great juggernaut and they think maybe there's no hope. Well, we'd like to give them hope.
Meanwhile, it's possible the removal of Newcastle's heavy rail line could be postponed after a recent environmental review identified a range of health and biohazards buried under the tracks. The review found elevated concentrations of lead, zinc, copper and chromium, as well as traces of asbestos, noting the contaminants are expected to be detectable at other locations along the line. Despite the fast-approaching Boxing Day deadline, New South Wales Transport is yet to release its residual corridor management plan, detailing how it plans to manage potential environmental impacts. A Katara man is due to front court next month on drugs charges after he was allegedly nabbed in possession of heroin at a Charlestown residence. Officers arrested the 57-year-old outside the Edward Street premises around 7:30 yesterday morning, following reports of drug activity in the area. Blake Clifton from police headquarters says the male is facing serious charges.
It's alleged that man was in possession at that point of 1.7 grams of heroin. The man was taken to Charlestown Police Station where he was charged with the possession of a prohibited drug and bailed to appear at Belmont Local Court Wednesday the 21st of January.
Lake Macquarie Council's economic development company Dantia has hosted a 9-member trade and investment delegation from Huangshi City today. The Huangshi City delegation represents businesses based in the Chinese province of Hubei, where council is poised to explore the prospect of export businesses tapping into the province's developing niche markets. Mayor Jodie Harrison says the delegation will visit Trinity Point Marina and Lake Macquarie Airport.
It's important that the delegation from Huangshi sees them because they are really Lake Macquarie in a very changing state, and there's certainly 2 aspects of Lake Macquarie that will result in some very exciting economic changes in the city.
Trees in Newcastle and the Community Arts Centre countdown to find a new property is on, following the council's decision to sell the 2 buildings currently occupied by the groups. The Maitland Newcastle Catholic Diocese will purchase the Parry and Selma Street properties, with the final settlement due within weeks. However, it has agreed to give the tenants 2 years to find a new home. Councillor Therese Doyle says the Community Arts Centre is expected to struggle to find a new suitable venue.
It's going to be very difficult to reproduce that somewhere else in another site. So I think that it behoves council to make sure that we are actively supporting and helping the Community Arts Centre to find a site that is at least as good.
In finance, the All Ords is down 10 points at 52.98 and $1 Australian is buying 83.62 US cents. Now with sport, Georgia Cowan.
Scottish club Dundee United has been forced to put the kibosh on rumours it's making a move to purchase the Newcastle Jets on the back of a visit from chairman Stephen Thompson. It comes after a 3-week fact-finding mission into the players' market where Thompson attended Newcastle's 3-1 loss to Wellington. The Scottish club official dropped into Jets headquarters to investigate player prospects and availability, but United director Derek Robinson insists the purchase hasn't even been discussed by the board. He's also understood to have inspected the new Northern New South Wales football headquarters at Spears Point. Meanwhile, former Jets captain Rumen Zadkovic has unleashed on his old club as the side chases its first win in 10 games this season tonight against Perth. The 28-year-old insists while there will be no mercy on the pitch, a management overhaul is needed to get the most out of players. And former Black Diamond AFL star Adam Clark has become the first Novocastrian entry for this Sunday's 7-kilometre June Dusters Sand Marathon in Stockton. That's sport. I'm Georgia Cowan.
2NURFM News Time is 2:05.